Good evening. Myself Ifra Sajid. I am pursuing Bachelor's of Physiotherapy from Jamia Millia Islamia. Firstly, I would like to thank Movement Maestro Academy and especially its chief Dr. Pradyot sir along with Dr. Nitin sir and Dr. Momishtha ma'am for giving us this wonderful opportunity to explain or share something on this platform with all of you. So the topic I chose is the sciatic neuritis, the shooting pain or sciatica. So let's start. First we will see the overview. The topics we will cover in this presentation are introduction, sciatic nerve, its course and distribution, etiology, its causes, symptoms of sciatica, what are the clinical forms of sciatica, its examination with SLR test, how it is performed, diagnostic imaging, its treatment, along with therapeutic exercises of physiotherapy, advice, prevention, and the nutritious diet. Okay, so let's start with the introduction. Sciatica. Sciatica refers to the pain experienced when sciatic nerve gets compressed or injured. We all know the sciatic nerve is the longest nerve of the human body. So when it gets injured or compressed, the shooting pain starts, which is the sciatica. This pain radiates along the path of sciatic nerve, which branches from the lower back through your hips and down to each leg up to feet along with the toes. This pain is experienced in posterior part of thigh mainly, posterior and lateral part of the leg and the lateral part of foot also. This pain can flare up immediately after an injury or appear slowly over a period of months. It might be sudden, short-lived, acute, or it can be long-lasting, which is chronic. Now see the sciatic nerve. It is the thickest and the longest nerve of the human body. It begins in the pelvis and terminates in the superior angle of the popliteal fossa, behind the knee, on the posterior part of the leg, by dividing here into tibial and common peroneal nerve. It is the largest branch of the sacral plexus. Its tibial part formed by the L4, L5, S1, S2 and S3 segments of spinal roots, and common peroneal part formed by L4, L5, S1 and S2 parts of the spinal cord. Its course and distribution. In this we will see how sciatic nerve, from where it gets originated and where it terminates in the lower extremity. First, it starts from pelvis. In pelvis, nerve lies in front of the piriformis muscle. After that, it enters in the gluteal region. Here, nerve enters in gluteal region through greater sciatic foramen below the piriformis muscle. Then it runs downwards between greater trochanter and ischial tuberosity. After that, it enters in the thigh. Here, nerve enters in back of the thigh, in the posterior part, at lower border of the gluteus medius muscle, up to downwards to superior angle of the popliteal fossa. Okay, so what are the causes of the sciatica or shooting pain? Sciatica is caused by the irritation of roots of lower lumbar and lumbosacral spine. Lumbar spinal stenosis, which is narrowing of spinal canal in the lower back. Degenerative disc, it is the main cause. Prolapse of intervertebral disc with pressure on lumbar or sacral spinal nerves. Interpelvic tumor, or it can be sacroiliac joint inflammation. Inflammation of sciatic nerve and its branches. A condition in which one vertebra slips over another one. This can also be a cause. Muscle spasm in back or hips. Herniated lumbar disc, which is the main cause. Other causes can be overweight, not exercising regularly, pregnancy, high heels, sleeping on too hard mattress or too soft, internal bleeding, infection or tumors. Okay, so now you can see in this picture the top view of the vertebra, how the normal disc is different from the herniated disc, and how this herniated disc compressed the nerve root of the spinal cord. Because this damaged disc, it puts pressure on the nerve, which causes its compression. So after that, what are the symptoms of sciatica? Okay, let's see the lower back pain, hip pain, pain in leg that gets worse while sitting, burning or tingling sensation down the leg, weakness, numbness, difficulty moving the leg or foot, shooting pain that makes it difficult to stand up. Other symptoms are constant pain in one side of the rear, one-sided symptoms, difficulty in moving the ankle or lifting the great toe in upward direction, loss of sensation of foot, loss of tendon reflexes in the ankle, also loss of tendon reflexes in knee. Okay, so now let's see what are the clinical forms of sciatica. There are two different clinical forms of sciatica, which are hyperalgic sciatica and the paralytic sciatica. Now let's see how these are different from each other. Hyperalgic sciatica, it is characterized by severe pain. Patient prefers to remain on bed and he or she is hesitant even to move slightly. In paralytic sciatica, the slight motor deficit can be detected. It often leads to foot drop, which forces the patient to modify the gait pattern. Patients usually compensate the one part of the body with the other one. Now the physical examination. Physical examination of sciatic patients should include observation, palpation, determination of angle, range of motion of spine, root tension test, evaluation of neurological status of lower limb. Therapists usually perform this test, which is straight leg raising test. It helps to detect the compression of the disc, the compression of the nerve root, prolapse of disc, and the pain which occur due to this. Patient is instructed to lie down in supine position. Then examiner lift the leg gradually with knee kept straight. Between 30 to 70 degrees, nerve comes into contact with prolapsed disc and patient will complain of pain. You can see in this picture how the therapist lift the leg of the patient gradually with knee kept straight. This is how this test is performed. Lissig sign with SLR test. In this, patient is instructed to keep his hip flexed and knee is also flexed at 90 degrees. The knee is then gradually extended by the therapist. If nerve stretch is present there, patient will experience pain in the posterior part of the thigh and the posterior part of the leg. Other examination includes testing of dorsiflexion strength of ankle and big toe with weakness suggesting mainly L5 dysfunction. Testing of ankle reflexes to evaluate S1 root dysfunction. Testing of light touch sensations in medial L4 segment of nerve root, dorsal L5 segment, and the lateral S1 segment of nerve root in the aspect of toe. Now come on to the diagnostic imaging. There are different types of imaging, which are radiography, CT scan, MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, myelography. Now the treatment. First, we will learn about the home program, which is given to the patient by the therapist. Patient is instructed to intermittent bed rest for short periods in between. Patient should lie on firm mattress in position that feels most comfortable. Application of cold pack or hot pack on painful area to help pain relief. Some stretching exercises. Other treatment includes medications and surgery. In medications, pain relieving medications, analgesics, muscles relaxant in case of muscle spasm may be recommended. In surgery, in severe cases it is performed only, or in case of neurological disorder. Now come on to the physiotherapy treatment. You can see in the picture how this first exercise is performed. Reclining pigeon pose. Patient is instructed to lie on his or her back. Now bring the right leg up to a right angle. Clasp both hands behind the thigh with locking up your fingers. Now lift your left leg and place your right ankle on top of the left knee. Now hold this position for a moment, around 20 to 30 seconds. This helps stretch the tiny piriformis muscle, which sometimes becomes inflamed and presses against the sciatic nerve, which causes pain. Do this exercise with other leg also, and hold the position for a moment and repeat 2 or 3 times. Second one is sitting pigeon pose. You can see in the picture how this exercise is performed. Sit on the floor with your legs stretched out and straight in front of you. Bend your right leg, putting your right ankle on top of the left knee. Now lean forward and allow your upper body to reach towards your thigh. Hold this position for 15 to 30 seconds. This stretches your gluteus muscles and your lower back muscles. Repeat this exercise on the other side with other leg also. Hold this position again for 15 to 30 seconds and repeat it 2 or 3 times. Other exercise is sitting spinal stretch. You can see in the picture the overview of this exercise, how it is performed. Sit on the ground with your legs extended straight, with your feet flexed upward. Bend your right knee and place your foot flat on the floor on the outside of your opposite knee. Place your left elbow on the outside of your right knee to help you gently turn your body towards the right side. Now hold this stretch for 30 seconds and repeat 3 to 4 times. Then switch sides of your body. Other exercises you can see, standing hamstring stretch. You can see in the first picture how this girl has performed this stretch. Other one is ankle stretch. You can do it with the help of towel also. These are some gluteal stretch, knee to chest bend, lower back stretch. These all stretch helps to keep your posture straight and keep your muscles healthy. Other sciatica back pain exercises include side planks, extension exercises, cat and camel stretch, quadruped arm leg raises with each side, standing hamstring stretches with each leg, gluteal stretches. In these all exercise, patient is instructed to hold the position for 15 to 30 seconds and perform 2 to 3 sets. The most common cause of sciatica is a bulging disc or herniated disc. You can see the difference in these two in the picture: bulging disc, sciatic nerve and herniated disc. Sciatica stretches can help relieve the pressure and pain of the sciatica. Here are some 10 sciatic stretches that you can do anytime and anywhere. And these are quite easy and useful. First is child pose, standing twist, cat-cow stretch, knee hugs, supine twist with one knee, tingling twist, seated twist, thread the needle and cobbler's pose. Other exercises you can see are double leg, knee to chest, hamstring stretch with towel, gluteal stretch, partial curls, quadruped arm leg raise and QL stretch. Yoga is also helpful in sciatic nerve pain. You can see different yoga asanas in these pictures. First is staff pose, locust pose, supported bridge pose, reclining big toe pose with the help of towel, or you can use TheraBand also, pigeon pose. Now come on to the advice on lifting and handling objects. One of the biggest causes is lifting or handling objects incorrectly. Learning and following the correct method for lifting and handling objects can help prevent sciatica. Think before you lift. Can you manage the lifts? Are there any handling aids that you can use? If present, then use them. Start in a good position. Your feet should be apart with one leg slightly forward to maintain balance. Do not straighten your legs before lifting, as you may strain your back on the way. Keep your back straight always. Keep load close to your waist. Keep load close to your body with heaviest end near to you, and the lightest end far to you. Avoid twisting your back. Keep your head up and straight. Know your limits. There is a big difference between what you can lift and what you can safely lift. So know your limits always. Push rather than pull. Distribute the weight evenly on both the sides of your body. Now some advice on posture. How you sit, stand and lie down also have an important effect on body. The following tips should help you maintain a good posture. Standing, sitting, how you stand, how you sit. These are some small precautions which you can use. Standing. Stand upright with your head facing forward and your back and leg should be straight. In sitting, you should be able to sit upright. Knee and hips should be leveled. If you use keyboard or computer, make sure that your forearms are horizontal and elbows are at right angle always. Your sleeping position matters a lot. Your mattresses should be firm enough to support your body while supporting the weight of your shoulders and hips, keeping your spine straight. Your mattresses should be firm. They should not be too much hard or too much soft. It should be moderate. Support your head with pillow, but make sure that your neck is not forced up at a sleep angle. Now exercise, which is very important. Regular exercises can help reduce your risk of developing herniated disc by slowing down the age-related deterioration of the disc in your back. It can also keep your supporting back muscles, lower extremity muscles, your gluteal muscles, piriformis, hamstring, quadriceps, rectus femoris, all these muscles. It helps to keep these muscles strong and healthy. You should warm up and cool down properly before and after any workout or any sports activity. Your warm up and cool down sessions should incorporate stretching exercises. Now prevention. Prevention is always better than cure. It's not always possible to prevent sciatica and condition may also reoccur. Following suggestions can play a key role in protection. Avoid and stop cigarette smoking because it promotes disc degeneration. I repeat, avoid and stop cigarette smoking because it promotes disc degeneration. Exercise regularly to strengthen the muscles of your back, your pelvis, your abdomen, your lower extremity, which works to support your spine. Maintain good posture always, while sitting, while standing, while sleeping. Good posture helps to relieve the pressure on lower back. Avoid sitting for long periods. Always use good body mechanics. If you stand for long periods, rest one foot on a stool or small box from time to time. When you lift something heavy, let your lower extremity to do the work. Move straight up or down. Keep your back straight and bend only at knees. Avoid lifting and twisting simultaneously. Find a lifting partner if the object is too heavy or awkward. Now the nutritious diet intake, which is very important. Diet needs to contain fiber-rich foods, lots of fruits, vegetables that will prevent constipation. 2 to 3 cups of green tea, turmeric, garlic, ginger. Vitamin A rich products, dairy products like milk, cheese, yogurt, carrots, dark green leafy vegetables, mangoes, apricots. Vitamin C fruits, especially citrus like orange. Regular and sweet potatoes, cabbage, spinach, broccoli, tomatoes, and green yellow vegetables. Vitamin B will be highly important and found in green peas, beans, nuts, bananas, legumes. Drink plenty of water. Okay, so by using these simple tips, you can cut through the confusion and learn how to create and stick to a tasty, nutritious diet that is as good for your mind as it is for your body. Thank you so much. Hope you loved my presentation. Thank you.